Let's bring on promoter Frank Warren as well, sitting to the left here of Joe Calzaghe. So what is next? There's been so much talk about Roid Jones Jr. and Joe Calzaghe, a lot of that, if not all, emanating from the camp of Joe Calzaghe. How realistic is a showdown between those two guys?
I was talking to Bob Arum last week regarding Roid Jones, that we could try and do something after this fight. And I'll be giving Bob a call later in the week, and hopefully we can do something. And I want Roid Jones to come and fight Joe, and I want that fight on Showtime. That's where it should be. And if Roy is so confident that he can beat Joe, come down and fight him at his weight, and then you can take the belts back to the HBO if you do it. But I'm telling you now, this guy is going to win. I will bet my house Joe Calzaghe will beat Roid Jones.
Well, Jones is notorious for meticulously handpicking his opponents. What makes you think that he'll give Joe Calzaghe an opportunity to fight him?
I don't think he will. The conversations we've had up to yet, and Roy's a really nice guy, but the conversations and negotiations I've had with various representatives, it's always been money. I mean, he absolutely prices himself out. And you know yourself, you can ask for too much, and by asking for too much, it'll never happen because the finances do not work out. If he's sensible, if he's reasonable, and if he believes it, this is a real fight for Roid Jones. There are only two real fights in the world for Roid Jones, Dariusz Mistrzewski and Joe Calzaghe. They're the only two fights. The other ones are marking time, hand-picked opponents. Come and fight a real fighter. This guy is for real.
Joe, you've had 3 impressive victories now, but in all due respect to people like Omar Shika and Richie Woodall and tonight Mario Fight, they are not Roid Jones Jr. What gives you the impression that you can beat Mr. Jones?
Well, basically, there's another side that I call him. Basically, opponents that Roid Jones has been beaten are not Joe Calzaghe's. They've got no ambition. They're just there for the payday, and basically, he does what he wants with them. I've got ambition. I'm a champion in my own right. I've got a heart. I've got a great chin. I believe I can beat Roid Jones, and I believe I can break his heart.
If you can't get somebody like Roid Jones, would you look to unify the 168-pound championship with another German, Sven Ottke?
I didn't think he was too interested in fighting me before. After he's seen what I've done to this countryman there, maybe he's even least enthusiastic to fight me.
We want to make that fight, Steve. We tried hard. We had an agreement with Wilfred Sal and his promoter, and it all, just didn't happen. They didn't want to fight Joe. And a fight for Joe, Byron Mitchell, there's a nice fight for him, out there. He's an American guy. If we can do that, there's a way of putting 2 belts together. That would be a good situation. And hopefully with this middleweight series that's going on, the winner of that can come up and fight him and challenge him.
A lot of possibilities out there. Are you content? One last question at this weight, 168. You're making no secret that you've struggled at 168. Are you looking to move up to 175?
Basically, the only way I'd move up to 175 is if I had a title shot against Roid Jones or Dariusz Mistrzewski. And I believe I'll be a much better fighter and much stronger at that weight.